Hello, hello. All right. Hello. Good morning. Happy Monday. This is the Monday Awareness Upgrade with Devoted Heart Lauren. We're live on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for tuning in. This week, my theme is digging a deep well. So I was talking about this weekend with some of my yoga teacher training students, and the idea that in order to find water, you need to keep digging, right? So it's not going to be useful to dig a lot of shallow wells if you want to find water, or if you really just want to get anywhere, okay? So we have to really commit to what it is that we're doing and dig a deep well in order to experience results. So what does this mean is that we have to stay focused and we have to commit to what it is that we want. And this can be very complicated, and there's a lot of different factors involved, and it can feel very difficult to decide on something. That's like, for me, that's a very big part of the challenges, is deciding on what to do and then committing to it. So that's fine, that's perfectly understandable. But first of all, when we decide, when we commit to something, the energy changes because you're giving all of your energy to whatever that is, and the results will speak for themselves. In my experience, just in the past couple of years and fully committing to my life as a yoga teacher and a healer and doing this work, the act of being fully committed and investing money in whatever, in further learning and growth and business development, just shifted everything. Okay. So, first of all, then you're invested, you have skin in the game, as they say. Okay. And the energy shifts. So sometimes it can get really frustrating to be on a certain path and feel like things aren't working, or like you're digging a well and you hit a rock and you're like, okay, well, is this still working? Do I keep going? Do I find a way around, or do I start over? And I think the really important thing, and this is something that was shared with me by a friend and by many friends in various ways, but the important thing is to connect to the why. Why are you doing this? So not just the what, not just what is actually happening, what is making it work, or the details that might surround whatever situation, because the details can suck, right? The details can be very complicated, all these layers, all of this mind stuff, stress, whatever. And ultimately, what you're doing is negotiable. But as long as you understand why you're doing it, what is my actual purpose here? What is the thing that I am ultimately wanting to connect with and wanting to share in the world? And then how I do it, the details and the specifics, I hesitate to say they don't matter, but that might be actually calming and relieve stress for some of us, myself included, because I have been feeling very stressed about the details of certain things and, really belaboring it in my mind and driving myself a little bit crazy. But ultimately, if I'm connected to the why, okay, I want to share yoga, or even broader than that, I want to heal people. I want to help people and feel connected to the earth and heal the earth as well. Okay, so then how I do it is highly negotiable. So maybe one thing works, maybe it doesn't. And that can be very painful, and the process of going through that can be very painful. But ultimately, if I connect back to my purpose, to the why, then that's what I'm focused on, and that's the deep well that I'm digging. And so even if you do something, you're working on a specific project that has specific details, or a job or a relationship or whatever, and it feels like, okay, this might actually not be working, I can still connect, or you can still connect back to your why. So why is it that I'm doing this? What is it that I really want? And then the work that you've done, the well that you appear to have dug in a certain direction, will still have benefits because you learned something. You got to learn. And sometimes one of the most valuable things is actually learning what you don't want, right? Having experiences that teach you, oh, yeah, now I'm clear on what I don't want, so I can be even more clear about what I do want. So I want to share a little bit of yoga philosophy, the 8-limbed path of yoga. Many of you are somewhat familiar with it, or even just that it exists. So the 8-limbed path. I have a whole program that's dedicated to the yamas and niyamas, the Live Your Yoga 13-week transformation. I'm relaunching that in the fall, by the way. If you're interested, send me a message and we'll talk. But beyond that, beyond the poses, beyond the breath work, there's the practice of meditation, which we've all heard the word meditation by now. But what actually is it? It's a practice of sustained concentration. So you're concentrating on one thing, focusing on one thing, and then sustaining that. And, concentration, it might seem like fairly accessible, but if I want to concentrate on this hair clip and I'm looking at it, and then, okay, my mind wanders or my gaze wanders, I look at something else. Okay, I'm constantly distracted from my point of concentration, and then I come back. It's the same thing with whatever the well is that you're digging, whatever you're working on. And sometimes, you hit a rock and you're like, ugh, like, let me think about something else. Or maybe this isn't working. Maybe I should bail, sort of thing. And then you come back to focus on what actually matters. What is the why? So this in yoga philosophy is called dharana. Dharana is concentration, and dhyana is sustained concentration, or we can consider that meditation. So first we start with just a point of focus, something that draws you in, and hopefully it's connected to your why. It might be a certain thing, a certain detail or project or person that may or may not work out, but if it's connected to the why, then it can be still very potent, okay? So you start off with that point of focus. Hello, welcome. And then you continue. You sustain your concentration. Once it becomes that you're fully committed to whatever it is and you're really just focusing on that, then it's not so hard anymore. So most of us, when we are practicing meditation, or when we say we're practicing meditation, it's like we're actually practicing concentration. We're actually practicing, okay, I have a point of focus, I lose that point of focus, and then I come back. And that's the practice. And once I'm fully committed and fully absorbed in whatever that point is, then it's sustained concentration and it's not so much effort. Okay, because I've eliminated the distractions. There's no longer something else that I'm considering. And that's where I'm at with my yoga practice and my yoga teachings, is there's no longer anything else that I'm considering. I'm doing this. I'm full in doing this, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what the what is, but I know what the why is. Okay, so all of the distractions, all of the sort of scattered focus of the different paths are I've narrowed it in, and now I'm just focusing on this one thing, and it's not so difficult anymore. So I want to share a mudra, a yogic hand gesture that corresponds to the practice of concentration, which is the way in to sustained concentration. It's called Abhisheka Mudra, and this means actually anointing. So anointing like the third eye, the witness consciousness, the intuitive knowing, all of this stuff. So seeing through, and I talked about this maybe last week or in one of the previous weeks, seeing through the details to the bigger picture, the shapes and archetypes and the why. What is this? What is it that I'm doing, and what is it connected to? So this mudra, if you make fists, you bring your fists together, and then you open up the pointer fingers and just touch them. And then the thumbs just rest in between. Okay, so it's like this little thing that you're pouring. Okay, it's meant to be this shape that if you're like pouring oil, I can't do it to myself, but you're pouring oil on the third eye. This is an Ayurvedic practice, and it's like an anointing, it's awakening intuition, opening up to that deeper consciousness. Okay, so Abhisheka Mudra, fists, pointer fingers touch, thumbs come onto the inside. Hi, Christina, welcome. And then you can just hold this in front of your belly. So I'm a little bit out of the camera, but hold it in front of your belly. And this is your one-pointed concentration, or the practice of dharana. So let's practice for a moment together, letting the eyes close and the inner eye open. And tune into what it is that you're doing. What you're doing today or what you're doing in your life. What are the details? What are the activities? What is the job or the jobs? And then underlying everything, and maybe it feels connected, maybe it doesn't. What is your true commitment or purpose? What do you really want? And sometimes the answer to, why you're working a certain thing, a job, is just as simple as having money and taking care of yourself. But what's beneath that? So there's something that you're committed to beneath what might seem surface level or mundane or challenging. So what is the why behind what you're doing? There can be more than one why as well. And just zooming in on that purpose, with this one pointed concentration, you're allowing yourself to dig a deep well in that direction. In the direction of your purpose, of the underlying why. And letting the heart be open, the breath be full. And is there a why that you can be all in, that you can commit yourself fully to? Even if it's something seemingly simple like taking good care of yourself and feeling alive. Is there a why that you can fully commit to and get clear that you're digging a deep well? Letting the mudra of anointing, third eye, intuitive knowing, consciousness. This mudra is pointing you in the direction of what you're truly committed to. Let's take a few deep breaths. Exhale. Inhale. Again. Again. And bowing your head to your heart, to that innermost knowing. Letting the eyes open and witnessing the mudra if you're in that hand position, that one pointed concentration. And then you can release the mudra when you're ready. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I would love to hear any reflections, any commitments that came up, any underlying purpose or why. And yeah, I'll see you next week. I'm hosting a retreat July 15th through 17th, Chakras and Sound. It's called Cosmic Embodiment. It's in the link on my Instagram. So if you're interested, reach out or sign up. All right, I'll see you soon.